Woo! Thanks, Ruben. We want to welcome everyone to our 23rd annual Tradiciones event. This is the first time since 2019 we've had a live crowd. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. So tonight we acknowledge we're gathered on the traditional homelands of the Red Willow people of Taos Pueblo. We honor the land itself and the neighbors and friends from the Taos Pueblo. And it's a huge honor to have leaders from Taos Pueblo tribal government with us tonight. So thank you, tribal. In the back. So it's hard to believe that it's been 23 years since we started this tradition at the Taos News. Over the 23 years, we've had the privilege of recognizing 201 unsung heroes and 26 Citizens of the Year. Before we start our award ceremony, I want to thank our sponsors. I don't know where Sonia is. Sonia Struck from the Laurel Foundation. Where you at, Sonia? Thank you so much. I want to thank UNM Taos for being a sponsor. There's Randy Archuleta, Dean of Instruction. There she is. And I want to thank Catherine Horsey she's over here hiding. We couldn't have done this. The Taos Community Foundation has been with us since 2001, from the very beginning, in some sort of sponsorship with ads or being a partner with us, and we couldn't have done it with them. So thank you, Catherine. I sure appreciate the sponsorship. Nick Branchell is back with us since he hadn't been with us since 2019. Thank you, Nick. They'll be playing tonight. So this year's Tradiciones event is dedicated to Tony LaHola, who designed the glass bears we've been presenting to our honorees since 2001. Sadly, Tony passed away last December. He not only was a legend among Native American artists, but he's also one of the world's best glass artists. Throughout the years, Tony handcrafted 227 glass bears for this event. We'll never forget him, and this year's Tradiciones is dedicated in his honor. Thank you, Tony. If you received one of the glass bears in the past, please raise your hand. Wow. That's amazing. So we have some exciting news. I'm not sure if Ira's with us tonight. Ira Lujan, who hails from Taos Pueblo, will continue the tradition of designing our glass bears. He did the ones for us tonight. He gained his expertise. He was an apprentice many years ago under Tony. So thank you, Ira. Thank you for. I'm not sure, is Ira among us? I think he's going to show up late, but when he comes in, we'll introduce him to the crowd. I'd like to introduce the opportunity to introduce our committee who nominated our Unsung Heroes and our Citizen of the Year. I want to thank Marilyn Farrow from St. James Episcopal Church. Where's Marilyn at? There she is. Thanks, Marilyn. Kathleen Michaels from Taos Pueblo. Kathleen. Joseph Quintana. Joseph. Thanks you, Joe. David Elliott, a past Citizen of the Year. Where's David at? There he is, the back. Ernestina Cordova, past Unsung Hero. There's Ernestine. Larry Mapes, Taos Chamber of Commerce President. Where's Larry at? There he is. My buddy, Stephen Wire. There he is, Stephen. Stephen goes back to 2001 being an unsung hero. That year we had, I think, it was Luis Reyes as our Citizen of the Year, way back. Anita Bringas, she's not with us tonight, but she has been such a big partner with this event and also our Taos Women's event. So Anita, I hope you're watching live stream. Thank you for everything you've done for us, Anita. And our beloved moderator for the event, Elizabeth Critton Palacios. Thank you, Elizabeth. I think she's been the moderator for over a decade, and every time I call her, she goes, yeah, I'll be there. She never hesitates. Thanks, Elizabeth. So tonight we're proud to recognize 10 remarkable individuals from Taos County. Our nominating committee has carefully selected heroes from all walks of life, including a retired pastor who managed a share table program to assist those in need, a woman who has devoted her life to deploying volunteers to find wilderness travelers, and a local fire chief who has reformed firefighting safety in Taos. We'll also introduce you to a woman who has dedicated countless hours helping stray animals to find homes. And lastly, we are honored to present the beloved Town of Taos events coordinator, who has exceeded her job expectations for over 25 years. That was Judy, if you didn't know who that was. I told her when she walked in, I have to get more bandwidth for my Facebook account because everybody liked her and shared her stuff so many times. These individuals are true treasures of Taos, and we're delighted to celebrate their outstanding contributions. So tonight is really about character. Someone once described character as doing the right thing when no one's looking. Abe Lincoln once said, "Character is how you treat those who can do nothing for you." Tonight's honorees are exemplified by their character. They show up to help, they stay without reward, and they ask nothing in return. Their footprint is almost invisible, yet their impression is long-lasting for years and decades to come. Now I'd like to turn over the program to Catherine Horsey from the Taos Community Foundation. She has 2 special awards she will present on behalf of the foundation, and she'll announce this year's Taos News Unsung Heroes and other folks. Let's give it up for Catherine. You want this one? Yeah, that was one.
Let's see if this one works. Oh, awesome. Okay. It is a great pleasure to be here, I gotta say, on behalf of the Taos Community Foundation. We are all here this evening to celebrate the unsung heroes of Taos. These are the people who help weave our community together. They understand that in order to thrive, we all need the same things. We need food, shelter, safety, and good health. Most of us in this room enjoy those things. But for those who don't, the unsung heroes are out in the community every single day trying to ensure that every single one of us has every one of those ingredients for a good life. As part of this evening, thanks to the Taos News, Taos Community Foundation takes the opportunity to recognize a few of our own heroes, and helping me recognize these awesome folks is George Jaramillo, who's the chair of the TCF Board of Directors, himself, along with Lucille, a 2018 Unsung Hero. Thank you for being here. Oh, George. This is so much fun. The Taos Community Foundation Nonprofit of the Year Award. Talpa Community Center is a magnetic, lively hub where local families and individuals are all able to learn, laugh, and grow together. The services offered by this organization are intricate and vast and often free, functioning as a state library, a farmer's market, a voting precinct, and a place for community gatherings. Talpa Community Center represents a standard that community centers all over the county strive for, and their passion and adaptiveness is reflected in their robust organizational growth since its inception almost 30 years ago. Taos is thankful for the hard work and dedication that this organization provides for our community, and we are proud to recognize the Talpa Community Center as the Taos Community Foundation 2023 Nonprofit of the Year. Accepting for the Talpa Community Center are Guadalupe Morgas and Tommy Tafoya. Come on. Here. This award carries with it a $5,000 grant from the Taos Community Foundation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, goodness.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have no words. We are just beyond grateful and thankful that we got this honor. Gosh, we're extremely honored to have this honor. Thank you so much, and we will continue doing the work. Today I have with me Tommy Tafoya, that's our president. We have with me Kathy Vihel is our secretary, been a board member forever. But our center is there, and we continue to grow, but these are the ones that set the foundation for our community center. And so we're very grateful, and thank you all.
Thank you.
Friday morning, we'll see ya. And now the Taos Community Foundation Philanthropists of the Year. Tad and Nancy Borg are devoted, longtime supporters of the Taos community. Following the 2016 passing of their son, John Borg, Tad and Nancy took steps to create a safer future for Taos. When the pandemic brought a new kind of uncertainty to our community, Tad and Nancy assisted in mobilizing local support through generous donations that helped usher Taos into a new era of local philanthropy. Since then, their charitable contributions have demonstrated a wide reach, offering support to those in need of housing, food, and service navigation. Tad and Nancy Borg represent the peak of excellence in what it means to be philanthropic in a community that is constantly adapting. And Taos Community Foundation is proud to recognize them as the 2023 Philanthropists of the Year. Accepting for Tad and Nancy is their son, Carvel Borg, and he's here with his wife, Rebecca. Tad and Nancy have elected for their $5,000 grant to go to Dream Tree's Nest Project to provide emergency assistance to the unhoused in our community.
Thanks, buddy. Congratulations. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks for all you've done.
Thanks. Just wanted to say it's an honor to be here. I had a lot of things to say, and then Catherine just said all of them. So the nest, I had all the things. So don't have much left to say. I just want to say that it's an honor to be here with everyone whose top priority is helping others, and obviously in our community. I know my parents are honored to honor my brother in this community by continuing every year to donate to causes that they see fit. And of course, thanking the Taos Community Foundation for their guidance and all their help in doing that. And again, on behalf of my parents, Tad and Nancy Borg, thank you guys very much.
Okay, and now, on to the Unsung Heroes. Robin Collier and Mike Tilley. Robin Collier and Mike Tilley are all about community and communication. They know the power of storytelling, and together they've been helping community members tell their stories since 2003. Through Cultural Energy broadcasting on public radio, KCEI 90.1 FM, and more recently on public access television, they've recorded and archived more than 4,000 interviews. The stories of local folks. The radio format allows them to take the time to create a connection with the people that they're interviewing and to sort of create a deep connection between the community and those folks. In a world of sound bites and superficial journalism, Robin Collier and Mike Tilley provide a platform for understanding our neighbors and therefore ourselves, and that's why they are unsung heroes.
I'm Mike Tilley. I'm also with KCI Cultural Energy and been involved with it since its creation and still learning.
And we have recorded over 4,000 segments in the last 20 years. What really interests us is learning about radio is very approachable, and anyone can come in and start talking about what they're doing.
That's what we've done to tell the stories of the community and get their perspective.
And we've covered everything from land grants to the acequias, poetry readings, lectures, events, and we have a huge archive of all those. Not everything has been broadcast. But that's what's really fun for us, is to meet all the people in Taos and get them on the air. Radio is still one of the most important mediums. Over 60% of the population gets most of their information from radio. And some of it's bad information, but it's still very important. And so we want people to come in and just tell their story. Taos is a multicultural community, Native American, Hispanic, all the newcomers from the hippies to the real estate developers. And when people come to Taos, they don't know anything about any of that. And we're able to interview and put people on that educates the newcomers about what Taos is and how rich it is. And that's what we've tried to do, is get that all on the air, from D.H. Lawrence to Agnes Martin to Jerry Padilla, all these really important voices. Many of them now are no longer living, but we've recorded them. And people really appreciate that there's someone covering what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And we just recorded a 2-hour beta meeting at the Talpa Community Center. And, that kind of information just, it's not what gets in the paper or on commercial TV. And we also have a TV station, Channel 18, that we hope to get very soon. And that's going to be really important. Getting the whole state of New Mexico to know Okay, they told a little bit about what I was going to say, but I want to thank all the people that have supported us over the years. I mean, we've had, we're only listener supported. We don't get Corporation for Public Broadcasting money. We don't have underwriting because we don't want to be conflicted over what we cover. And we don't take corporate donations. And it makes us unique. We're in this tradition of the Pacifica Foundation that was started in 1948 by war resistors in Berkeley. And it's really important to understand we're a public radio station, unlike a few stations that seem to exist mainly to support their bars and alcohol venues. We want to thank our big donors, especially Jean-Louis Bourgeois, who was a huge opponent of the airport, and a big, his book on spectacular vernacular on Adobe buildings. He was a great man, died just last year, and we wouldn't have started without him. And we have several other large anonymous donors, which I can't mention, of course. And we want to thank all our monthly sustaining members. This is a really important thing. If you can donate $5 to $50 a month, it really helps us. And I want to thank Mike Tilley, because he didn't start in 2003. He started in 1995, volunteering for KRZ. He's been doing this for 28 years, all volunteer. And he still does he records and edits and records and edits. He's just tireless. And I want to thank many of the people who have contributed to our programs that we've interviewed or allowed us to record their events, such as Taos Historical Society, SOMOS, SMU Taos, the Harwood, and a lot of other organizations that let us record public meetings, events, poetry readings, and all those are, archived online. And as they said in the video, there's a lot of people that have passed away, like Esteban Arellano, Jerry Padilla, really great historians and scholars that we recorded and were able to get their words out. And I want to thank the Pacifica FLA Network, which we carry, we do local programming, but we carry programming from 218 stations across the nation and over 100 independent producers. This is the largest progressive network in the United States. It reaches about 80 million people, and we're part of that. And we couldn't do it without there. And we want you to support our expansion to Pickery's Peak, which, if we get on Pickery's Peak, we'll be at 89.5 plus our existing 90.1, and we'll reach 500,000 people. And our public radio station on Channel 18 will also reach all of northern New Mexico. And we're going to need your support. We're going to have to raise that $250,000 to get 100 solar panels. We'll really be the largest solar station in the country. Not like another one that we know. But anyway, thank you very much, and I'll let Mike just say a few things.
Okay, wow, a lot of people here. And hopefully we're going to be able to interview you all and cover your events. Please raise your hand, say yes, thank you. Well, it's an honor to, thank you. That's something I'd normally be doing. Thank you for doing it. It's an honor, thank you Taos News, thank you to the committee to serve this community over all these years. And my brother, Robin Collier, who has always been there, even when it's been pretty difficult. And I've personally been tired. And Robin said, this is important. Keep on doing it. So what I'll close with is just saying, and Robin's mentioned quite a bit of things, but again, I feel that what we're doing is living history. And that sometimes history's pretty cruel. But hopefully in living history, what we're doing, we can cover things that maybe the kings and queens and the corporations make bad for people. And hopefully what we're doing is saying the people are going to be uplifted what we're doing. Thank you very much.
Erika Parraz. Erika Parraz has cared for this community in a literal sense for the last 26 years. On what might be the worst day of your life, if Erika was there, you could count on thoughtful triage, stabilization, care, and respect, and she'll hold your hand if that's what you need. We routinely put our very lives in the hands of our emergency providers. We expect them to be there. For 26 years, Erika has been there, and as a paramedic and an emergency medical technician, has saved so many lives in this community. She's taken the time also to introduce younger people to the possibility of emergency medicine as a profession for their future. She is an unsung hero. And accepting the award on Erika's behalf is her mother, Becky Parraz.
My name is Erika Parraz. I'm a paramedic, and I worked for Taos County EMS for 26 years. I recently retired, and now I'm just enjoying my life. People don't call an ambulance when they're having like the best day. It's usually for the worst experience of their lives. And so I think I was able, and I learned quickly that I was able to really harness the adrenaline and be able to focus and take care of people. And doing it in Taos, I think meant that much more to me because I know a lot of people in Taos. My family's from Taos. I've lived here my entire life. And this is the place I chose to do it. There was a guy that was riding his motorcycle, and he crashed it and ended up out in the sagebrush and broke his leg. And I took care of him. We took him to the hospital, and I found out later he had to have surgery, had the leg repaired. And then I'd say like maybe a year later, 6 months later, I'm at Sid's shopping one day on duty. We're just grabbing some snacks or something. And this man comes up and grabs my basket. And he says, "Do you remember me?" And I was like, "I really don't remember you." He said, "You picked me up when I wrecked my motorcycle and you saved my leg and I was able to dance with my wife at my wedding. Please let me buy your groceries." And that kind of stuff has gone on throughout my career, which is a good thing for me. It really made it worth it. But I've also learned that, life's really short. And throughout this pandemic, because I never imagined working this career during a pandemic. I mean, we've learned about it, but I never actually had to do that. And I learned that all the sacrifices my family made with me not being around, my hours, taking care of my daughter, those kinds of things, I learned that people cared about what I was doing and they were willing to pick up where I left off. My philosophy with this job was treat people like you would want somebody to treat your family, but also turn them over better than you found them. And that's what I've always tried to do. The life of a paramedic in the streets is like 10, 15 years tops. And I was able to do 26, almost 27 years. I mean, it's changed me in a lot of ways just because of all the bad things and ugliness that I've seen, but I think it's made me a stronger person. Sometimes it may not be your emergency, but it's their emergency, and if the best thing that you can do is hug somebody and hold their hand and talk to them, it may not be like the most life-saving intervention, but just being compassionate and caring. And I think that in itself makes a difference.
Good evening. On behalf of my daughter, she is grateful and honored for what you've done for her today. She has a quote that she'd like for me to read. She said, this is from Pastor Rick Warren. Love leaves a legacy. How you treat others, not your wealth or accomplishments, are the most enduring impact, but your love is the most enduring impact that you can leave on this earth. And she said that as long as she's able, she's going to continue to help in this community that she loves. Thank you so much.
Cheri Lyon. Cheri Lyon both exemplifies and acts on the axiom that everyone is important and everyone has a contribution to make. The people with different belief systems, traditions, living situations, and outlooks are all members of the community and not only deserve care and consideration, but they merit a seat at the table and a voice that is heeded. As the pastor of El Pueblito for the past 5 years, Cheri's influence has ranged far, far beyond her own congregation and embraced the entire Taos community, providing both spiritual and physical sustenance to her people, our people. Congratulations, Cheri.
So I'm Cheri Lyon, and I served as the pastor of El Pueblito United Methodist Church. It was brought me to Taos in 2018. I just retired at the end of June 2023 after a marvelous time. So now I'm enjoying more free time and teaching swimming. That's my passion. So at the Taos Youth and Family Center, to adults and kids, being part of other interfaith events and community activities here in Taos, and looking forward to working as a volunteer with Youth Heartline. So those are a little bit about me. I spent the first 20 years of my working life as a public health educator for the Indian Health Service, which is essentially a traveling teacher, and was always active in my local church. But I was raising kids and enjoyed what I was doing, but I taught a lot in church of Sunday school classes or Bible study classes, and so I just kind of kept getting more and more involved. And then I just sort of felt God saying, you should do this full time. This is what I'm calling you to do. So I shifted careers mid-career in my 40s and went into full-time ministry. I served 2 churches in Albuquerque, and then had this wonderful opportunity to come to be here in Taos. And that's how I entered ministry. I love that spark of when it all comes together for someone, when they've been learning bits and pieces of something, and then all of a sudden it coalesces. People are interested, they want to learn to swim, but there's so many pieces to swimming. Because most of the time, teaching is just about helping people bring out what they know, what their body already knows in swimming, what their heart already knows at church. And it's just helping to expand that working knowledge and what they know intuitively. So that's what I delight in teaching, is just that kind of joy of learning together, actually, too, of making that connection. Which is what churches are all about, too. It's about building strong families, which build strong communities. Thank you so much. I am so humbled by this honor. I have to admit, when Chris called, I said, "You do know I'm retired, right?" I'm not, but I just wanted to say thank you to everyone, the generous donors, the committed volunteers, and the active support of the people of El Pueblito, the Talpa Community Center, and everyone who helped us to ramp up during the pandemic. Prior to the pandemic, if Shared Table served 200 households, we thought we were working hard. During the pandemic, it increased to over 350, and we were giving out double the amount of food by weight. The challenge is the need continues. It's now over 450 households coming for food, more than even during the pandemic. And what I want to say is just thank you for that support. But I want to acknowledge 2 people. Mike Flattery, who many of you know, is the face of Shared Table. So when you see him at the grocery store or doing the pickups, all the grocery stores in Taos donate to Shared Table. We pick up food, and they continue to do that. And then many of you know Eve Tavino. Eve Tavino has been the heartbeat of Shared Table for many years. She is no longer working at Shared Table, but she is who made it possible for us to become what we needed to become during the pandemic. And so I just really want to recognize that. And then you heard me talk about joy, and I just wanted to share these 2 last thoughts, that this is not new with me. Angela Williams, who's the CEO of United Way International, said, "Joy is the oxygen for doing the hard thing. And so being part of the Shared Table community and the Taos community at large is to live a life of joy. And I think what we do together is create a sense of collective effervescence. And so that's where I want to leave it. Collective effervescence is allowing good to bubble up. And in swimming, that's what we do, is teach you to blow bubbles. And so if you're an adult that would like to learn to swim, the Taos Youth and Family Center has an amazing pool. And we'd love to have you come join us. But thank you for your support for Shared Table and all the food pantries.
Oh, look, I get to raise the microphone. Cool. Delinda VanneBrightyn. When you are lost in the woods, you want to just hope Delinda VanneBrightyn and Akio Yoda-san are out there looking for you. For the last 20 years, Delinda and her rescue dogs have been at the forefront of Taos search and rescue, training responders and dogs and herself rescuing countless individuals. She took her personal experience as the victim of a serious accident and changed her life to serve other people. She makes herself available whenever and wherever her skills and her dog's skills are needed. And when you see them coming, you know you're safe. Thank you, Delinda.
Hi, I'm Delinda VanneBrightyn, and I do search and rescue. I train dogs. I'm an artist. I write, and there is so much in life that is so important to me. Well, I've trained dogs ever since I was a little girl, and I used to teach my dog tricks. And I have a passion for animals, but I think especially dogs, because dogs are very special in their ability, because of their temperaments and their ability, to serve humankind. I love to serve. Serving my community is a very important part of my life. It always has been. I love the forest. I love the outdoors. I've been my whole life an outdoors person ever since I was 6 years old and walked alone in the forests up at the lake cabin where we were. I was a professional dancer and I toured, and that was really my love and my passion. And one night I was coming home from a rehearsal and I was hit by a drunk driver, and I had a terrible traumatic brain injury. I couldn't dance ever at that level again. I suddenly decided, what am I going to do? It seemed like search and rescue was just a perfect fit for who I am and how I could give service in the best way. And I trained with different search and rescue canine units around the country, from Peggy Sullivan up in New York, New Jersey area. She was one of the first responders for 9/11. I trained with her. I trained with another FEMA handler up in Chicago, people out in California. And thus began my journey as being a dog trainer. And I've done it now for 20 years, as well as search and rescue for 20 years, and I love it. I haven't looked back. Breaking everything. Leave that there. Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you so much. I am so humbled that I'm standing here. I could never imagine it. I never thought of it. But to be in a room of such great people. Taos is a place filled with amazing people. It's an amazing place to live, and it's an amazing place to serve our community. I just want to thank the Taos News and the committee for this beautiful, incredible honor. I want to talk about my own unsung hero, who is in the audience tonight, my mother. Mom, would you please stand, please? This is my mother. In 3 days, my mother will be 98 years old. Yeah. She's gonna kick me for saying that, by the way. But I celebrate her amazing life and her wisdom and all that she gave me through my life. She always encouraged me to follow my love, my passion, my bliss. And it's because of her I'm in search and rescue because of that. And so, because I've always followed those things. She has taught me so many amazing pieces of wisdom. And I also want to say thank you to Michael Walker, my amazing partner in life, Michael. And he is a wonderful creative in his own right. And I'm just, he supports me through all the late nights and the crazy times that I go out and do my service. And I'm grateful for that because not many people would put up with that. And, I just want to say that Taos is the place of my heart and my soul. It always has been, and it will always continue to be. And it is just my honor and privilege to be able to serve the community. But this ward is not mine alone. It belongs to all the members of Taos Search and Rescue who give their time, their energy, and a lot of their own finances, money, to buy their own equipment and to give tirelessly in trainings and in response to people who are down and lost in the wilderness, people that are, in a hard time of need. And they're amazing people, and it's my honor to serve with them always. And it's my honor to be able to go out and help the families of those people that are lost. And it's the honor of all of the volunteers on Taos Search and Rescue. We have no state or federal funding, and we have to raise our own operational budget every year, which we do because of the amazing generosity of this community who supports this team. And so I also want to thank the community for their part in search and rescue, because it takes everyone. It takes a tribe, it takes a village, and this is certainly an amazing tribe and village that we have here in Taos. Thank you so much, and have a great evening. Thank you.
Mark Goldman. Thinking about architects and architecture and design commonly conjures up images of high-style buildings designed for wealthy people. But it's the regular folks, the ones who need affordable housing, that perhaps can most benefit from the principles of good design. The principles of good design include such things as proper siting, sustainability, durability, local building traditions, hominess, and people-friendly spaces. Mark Goldman knows all of that, and like all excellent teachers, is continually learning from his students, passing his accumulated knowledge along to the generations behind him, and to those also with a dream of self-sufficiency and energy independence. It is architecture for the common good. Thank you, Mark.
My name is Mark Goldman, and I'm the coordinator of the Construction Technology Department here at UNM Taos. What I've learned is we're stronger when we work together. I'm teaching, but I'm learning a lesson. When I came to Taos, my attitude in my late 20s, my attitude is I'm going to start a company, I'm going to be a carpenter and a mason and a roofer, and I'll learn to plaster. I'll do it all myself. I don't care what anyone else is doing. And I'll get a small crew and we'll just be our own little world. And I've changed and I've learned that. And my work is the collaborative thing, which is total surprise to me now at my age, because I did not start out collaborating. I didn't want to collaborate. But I think Taos has these incredible buildings that it's important to honor and respect those buildings. And you have to try and listen to the lessons that the buildings can teach you and integrate that. And it's more, we have kind of it's a quieter thing, because you see all these, the best of the old mixed with the best of the new, and trying to build. Look at your materials, look at Adobe brick. It's going to tell you what it wants, how it wants to be used. Adobe brick is, you say, yeah, do these soft curves and stuff. It works with that. Using, a Vega and the forest materials. It's being more sensitive as you get older. I feel, Taos, in a sense, it's my adopted community in a certain way. What I'm teaching with the students, we're looking at ways that we can all together work on techniques to be able to provide housing in a manner that is actually attainable, and that's huge in itself, right? If you're gonna improve your community, it's about identifying maybe and trying to think outside yourself and to look at others, and that I think we all have something to offer. Okay, just thank you, thank you so much. So my wife, she told me I better write down my speech. So I have it right here, and it's a good thing that she did. So in 1997, my path as a construction worker and architect took a sharp turn when I went from working on finely crafted adobe homes to finding myself in the midst of working with a group of juvenile offenders on parole from Springer Detention Center. And we were designing and building a new home for abused, neglected, and homeless teens called the Dream Tree Project. Does this go up higher?
No, it should go lower.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, perfect. So called the Dream Tree Project, which really was held together by not much more than the strong will of 3 social workers, Kim Triber, Cammie Hartman, and Joey Blue. So they encouraged me to reach out and meet Sam Mockbee of the Rural Studio in Alabama, who went around knocking on doors of African-American sharecropper farmers, offering to design and build them new homes with his architecture students, and telling the students he had to treat them with all the dignity that they deal with a very wealthy client. So his assistant, Brian Bell, now a close friend and mentor, inspired me to widely expand my vision of what an architect could be. I just want to note that I went through a 6-year architecture program in Boston, Massachusetts. I can't recall the word Adobe ever being uttered once. And this is a school that goes back to 1883 or something. But there is now a book in their library upstairs on the 6th floor. My thesis has some sketches of the Taos Pueblo. So if they weren't uttered, at least they're in the library. So I just want to, give a big thanks to all the construction workers who, swung a hammer or trowel alongside me. Scott McCarty especially, who worked with me on the very first house I did, punching in numbers on his little, like Dick Tracy wristwatch to figure out the pricing. Actually, I see, Patrick O'Brien here. Heru Hardijanto, who worked with me all throughout the Dream Tree. He was all the way from Jakarta, Indonesia. Never seen snow before and cold. Worked on it. Ernie Martinez and his son Gerard Martinez from the Taos Pueblo, who really taught me how to work with Adobe construction. And just so many more from, others of the vital cultures of this valley. And now Ryan Timmermans, who's somewhere in here, from Veterans Off Grid, who roped me into a new project and whose energy and vision bring new inspiration. So I want to, thanks to Vista Grande School, where I'm on the governing board, and their commitment to students from the Taos Pueblo, where we're teaching kids from the Pueblo how to design Adobe bricks on computer-generated software and design their homes for the Pueblo. Randy, who's out there somewhere from UNM, who kind of put up with me on a lot of interesting projects I tried to bring in. I do want to say I want to just thanks to a woman, Linda Gordon, who her family, for when I was a teenager, my father was in a federal penitentiary, and just say that, they fed me and took me in. So lastly, it's currently my privilege to be working on the Nest Social Services Hub, which someone else's ward is going to fund that. It's a homeless shelter which is shepherded by more up-and-coming unsung heroes. So yeah, thanks a lot. This is great. Thanks a lot.
Illona Spruce. As a World Heritage Site and as a home place, Taos Pueblo strives to maintain a balance between sharing its heritage and preserving its culture. Illona Spruce is an important part of that effort. In her capacity as the Taos Pueblo's Director of Tourism, Illona ensures the safety, the security, and the appropriate visibility of tribal members and visitors alike. During public events, she is everywhere. She's always available to do whatever needs to be done to make the experience rewarding for everyone involved, opening visitors' eyes to this special place and its culture. For all that she does, Illona Spruce is an unsung hero.
My name is Illona Spruce, and I am the Director of Tourism for Taos Pueblo, and I've been in this position for 10 plus years. So I work with a wide range of our community, within the community of Taos Pueblo, and then within the community of Taos. Focus is to make sure that, every day that our daily operations run efficiently and that we're able to manage the amount of people coming into the community. And then on top of that, it's really creating the perspective of that we're a living community and creating that education to people, so that way when they come in here, they're not blindly coming into the community. Really, that's the goal, is that we want people to be educated about not just Taos Pueblo as a community, but even Native people from the Native community. This, for a lot of people who walk through our doors, this will be the first time that they or ever come in contact with a Native person. And so I feel like there's a huge responsibility in making sure that we're educating people, I wouldn't say properly, but enough to the extent that it cuts down on the assumptions of what Native communities are, and so we're changing perspective. telling our story is truly like the best part of this position, and that sharing with people to a certain extent of who we are, where we come from, how special this place is. And that's truly, what makes me want to continue on and do this every day. Because it's definitely a challenge. There is no day that is the same. So I don't know what else I would do, because I wouldn't be used to like the monotony of going into work and it being the same day every day. The best part is seeing people who come through who have done all their research and they're ready to tell us who we are, and then they figure out that they can't. And so, that's really the idea, is changing those perspectives and really eliminating some of those preconceived ideas of Native people. Well, this isn't nerve-wracking. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate the being acknowledged, being here with everybody today. It really comes forefront with working with the community continuously each and every day. And due to the nature of tourism, I get the luxury of being able to cross paths between both communities, or all communities that surround the Pueblo. And truly it becomes like one community. And that's where I see that we are only strong if we tell the full story with everybody's perspective. And so when COVID hit and we closed our doors at the Pueblo, and then when the state started opening back up and we weren't able to facilitate our community members, our artists, to be able to get back into having their income and whatnot, I had tried to figure out how can we have alternatives. We worked with Millicent Rogers, with Kathy Kornbringer, Michaels. So we did an online show in like a month. That was a lot of fun. But then it came to fruition with working with Karina Armijo on creating a space within town. And I just kind of had this idea of, well, what are you doing with the visitor center? And so that's where we found this alternative space, and that's where we placed a lot of our artists in the first year before the Pueblo opened. And so we've been able to maintain that space and have that agreement and continue that partnership even to today. So, and so we continue to work with the town, and I just see that pandemic kind of gave us all a break. I know that 2019 was pretty wild, but it gave us a time to take a step back and reevaluate where we want to go, especially with tourism, and see which way we want to go and how we want to maneuver after this. If we didn't have that, I don't think we would have been able to take that deep breath and reevaluate and then maneuver on. And so I'm thankful that I have the community from the Pueblo, but I also have the community out here. There's been a lot of support in the efforts that I've pushed forward. We put together the community powwow as an acknowledgement of healing and bringing the community back into the swing of things, and that was done really fast. And then we also had San Geronimo, which I'm still sunburnt from, over the weekend, and that was great. I don't think we've seen that many people ever. And so I was thankful that we were able to share our community once again with the public and even seeing our brothers and sisters to the south with their arts and craft wares coming back into the community to embrace what that originally is, which is trade, and embrace that culture that we are a trade hub here in this area. And that's traditionally what the Pueblo has always been. And we've always welcomed people into our home. I don't think there was a time until pandemic hit that we didn't have anybody that was a visitor, even pre-contact. And so, I just want to thank everybody. I want to thank Elizabeth for acknowledging and nominating me. Thank you to my staff. I could not do what I do without the staff that I have. And the years of staff, I've probably had just about every young person work with me from the Pueblo. And so they've had their intro of working feast days, working holidays, and so I couldn't do it without any of them. I couldn't do it without my coordinator. And then most of all, I couldn't do it without my family. And so I appreciate the long hours to my family for helping take care of my girls, and to my partner for always being there as a support system for the long days and long hours. And so thank you. I said I wasn't going to cry, but thank you to everyone, and I appreciate this acknowledgement. So, ta'a.
Holly Summerberries. So many challenges face our community. The only way to overcome them is to work collaboratively and empathetically. As the Victims of Crime Coordinator for the Taos Pueblo, Holly Summerberries brings multiple entities to bear for the benefit of her clients, while applying her own ability to put herself in their place to help her understand the best path forward. Less well known is her highly effective animal welfare work for the Pueblo, to which she applies many of the same skills. For her remarkable ability to understand how people and issues connect, Holly is rightly now being recognized as an unsung hero.
My name is Holly Summerberries, and I am very proud to say that I come from Taos Pueblo. I currently work at the Health and Community Services as the Victims of Crime Coordinator. We listen, we engage, and do our best to understand their needs. The highest cases that we have are that of domestic violence in this community. There's a lot of challenges in working with victims of crime. Currently, like with domestic violence, with the housing issues that we have in Taos, the unavailability of housing for individuals is probably the biggest barrier, the biggest challenge. We're trying to work collaboratively with our tribal court programs, Taos CAV, our law enforcement especially. We collaborate with them really well to provide extra services. What brought me to being a coordinator for the Victims of Crime program was to be helpful to my community. I used to be an administrative assistant here. I used to see people come and go through our doors. People need support. No matter what it is, I do my best to try to support them. The most important thing that I've learned in life are the things that can't be taught in a school, things that you're taught by your parents, your grandparents, your aunties and uncles, just being good, being helpful to others, being respectful is very important. To be grateful for any and all opportunities that we're given. I think Creator gives us these blessings of things seen and unseen. Trying to look at the positive, even in a not so positive situation, is important. I think being at peace with yourself is very important to helping others, and engaging with others and understanding them. Just being that supportive person.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for this honor. I'm really happy to receive this bear from Ira Lujan. Today is World Animal Day, so it kind of coincides with that, so I'm very honored to have that. I just wanted to say, I wrote out my thank you because I will ramble on. So good evening to all the unsung heroes and sheroes tonight. I want to thank all of the Taos Pueblo government that is here on our War Chief staff, our tribal councilmen that are here, Mayor Maestas, and the town government. I think I saw the town manager this evening. Sorry if I missed anybody. But quite honestly, I am amazed and honored to be here to accept this award as one of the unsung heroes for our beautiful Taos County, and I would like to thank Ms. Kathleen Michaels for the nomination. I really appreciate that, Ta'a. This is a wonderful day for me and my family. So along with my sons, Julian and Alan, and my mom, and the rest of my family, we're honored to be here. Our gratitude goes out to all of the Taos News staff and the committees that put this amazing event together. I want to thank John and Enrico for my interviews. And while I'm thankful to be recognized, I would truly like to thank those who have made this recognition possible. Thank you to Creator Jehovah for all the guidance, strength, and patience that I'm blessed with to do the work that I do. There's nothing better than giving back to your community and giving back to the land. To my family, Julian and Alan, my mom, thank you for all your love and support and always believing in me. I love you very much. We all have those special friends in our lives that we love as family. Thank you for being there for me as well. You're all amazing. And to my faith brothers and sisters for always taking the time out of your days to make my world a happier place. Thank you to the team at Health and Community Services and the tribal programs that make these animal welfare events possible. Thank you to all the friends who have continued to donate pet food since 2021 for Taos Pueblo Pets. Thank you to all the amazing veterinarians for your knowledge and care, especially Dr. Monica Silvers and the team from Stray Hearts, the teams of Salazar and Taos Veterinary Clinics, Donna Carr, Penny Wardlow, and Jane Carson for putting together the mobile spay-neuter services, the Pueblo County and Town Animal Control Officers, Rocky Mountain Puppy Rescue, and to the amazing team of Helping Paws Across Borders. If you don't know who they are, you'll definitely want to look them up. They travel the world and are out there helping communities with their animal issues. I would also like to thank the Humane Society of the U.S., Animal Protection New Mexico, and Bosque Farms for your generous pet food donations, and a special thank you to my mentors, Adam Kerr, Christy Olson, and Ezra Bales, for your guidance and knowledge that you've shared with me to help me grow professionally and personally. A very special thank you goes out to all the responsible pet owners of this community, of this world, who love and care for their animals like family. To those who are new to pethood, please don't give up. While at times some things may get really frustrating, with our teaching efforts, your pet will just be the most wonderful thing in this world. I would like to thank all our veterans and military for your service, especially for my niece and my nephews who are currently serving in the Air Force. And in closing, I would like to close with 3 PSAs.
First is to please spay and neuter your pets, or at least to try to keep them confined during their heat phase. If your family seeks a pet, you'll find one at Stray Hearts guaranteed. They come with all their shots and will be fixed. And I urge you all to please donate to Stray Hearts. I know that in media there's a little bit of negativity going out there, but your contributions will help to keep animal resources available to the community. The second one, please don't purchase or release helium-filled balloons. Helium is a non-renewable, precious resource used in life-saving devices. Balloon releases are a form of environmental vandalism as they litter our community, and many of our wildlife have the tendency to ingest them or get tangled up in the strings of them. And lastly, if you know of someone who is a victim of domestic violence, please encourage them to seek help. People do not deserve to be hurt by the hands of another individual. Our community members are our future. And with that, we do have a run at Taos Pueblo, honoring all those who are impacted by domestic violence. And it would be great if you could all show your support and be a part of this great event. Thank you very much.
Judy Esquibel. What is more priceless than the smile of a child? Judy Esquibel has been putting smiles on the faces of Taos children for more than 25 years. As the Town of Taos' community events coordinator, Judy has planned hundreds of events and new experiences for Taos kids. At this point, she's entertaining at least the second generation of Taos kids there with their parents who themselves benefited from Judy's kindness and energy. Judy works hard to delight the youth of our community, to create memories, and to make each individual feel special. She herself is a special human being, and now a Taos News unsung hero. Congratulations, Judy.
My name is Judy Esquibel. I'm the Community Events Coordinator for the Town of Taos. I've been with the town 25 years, and to me this is the best job ever. I feel like, it was created for me and I enjoy it. I was hired as an admin, and then my supervisor noticed that I was able to think out of the box, bring in materials and supplies, whether I had the budget or I didn't have the budget. It's for our youth, so of course we're going to do above and beyond to bring what we need for our kids, to make sure we're providing them memories that last forever. We just did the youth flight recently where we're introducing them with new experiences, where the kids got their first ride, to be able to see that excitement when they get down from the airplane and say, oh my God, I loved it, I want to do it again. And their experience prior to that was, I'm a little unsure, I don't know if I want to participate. And then they're running down with excitement, I want to do it again, and then you see years later where the kids are letting you know that, I decided I want to be a firefighter, I want to be a police officer, I want to be a pilot. These experiences that we want to introduce to the kids that maybe they wouldn't have had the other opportunity, but with the town and the community, we were able to provide these experiences, and now it's made them their career path. Well, I've been lucky to be part of those memories, and I'm very grateful for that. Good evening. How is everybody doing tonight? I'd like to start off by saying thank you to everyone for attending this event in celebration of a memorable group of people in our community. I'm extremely honored tonight to be amongst these receiving such an important award in our, it's heartwarming. For over the past 25 years, I've been working my dream job. For many, work is just a paycheck, but for me, every day I start my workday filled with gratitude. I've enjoyed working with the youth of our community, putting together events for the children, bringing the families together, and most of all, being a part of their childhood memories. Through these years, I've seen kids who are now adults attending my events, Town of Taos events, but I call them my events, with their children. To be able to create and be a part of these memories have been the biggest achievement I've accomplished in my career. The success I could not have done alone. I would like to thank my loving partner, Henry Sanchez, who is the rock star of our family and have supported me throughout my career. I like to joke that he doesn't work for the chief of police. He works for me. I would also like to thank my two beautiful daughters, Angelica and Sabrina, for their endless support and encouragement in everything I do. My daughter Sabrina would always say, if my mom needed a face painter, a balloon animal maker, a holiday decorator, well, that was going to be us. Thank you to Joseph Quintana for nominating me, the nominating committee, Tamara Testerman, Chris Baker, and the Taos News team, and all the event sponsors. And lastly, I'd like to thank those who I have worked with, Mayor Maestas, Town Manager Gonzalez, and all the council members, my co-workers, the many volunteers. Community events could not be possible without you. Everybody comes together and makes things happen. Our businesses, organizations, and schools further contribute to community events. Congratulations to all the honorees. This award will always be dear to my heart. Thank you, thank you.
Jona Olsson. Jona is a firefighter, an emergency medical technician, an instructor, an advocate for social justice locally and nationally, and was named the 2012 Volunteer Fire Chief of the Year by the International Association of Fire Chiefs, the first woman to be so recognized. For so many years, she has worked with firefighters to help them understand how to make their work more equitable and more safe. In a field that is one of the least diverse in the country, she is a change agent and a servant leader, making us all, her neighbors here and her colleagues throughout the world, safer and ultimately more healthy. Thank you, Jona.
I'm Jona Olsson. I live up here in beautiful El Rito, north of Cuesta. I am currently the Fire and EMS Chief of Latir Volunteer Fire Department, and we cover the area north of Cuesta, practically up to the Colorado line. It's a wonderful group of serving people. It's a very small, rural, all volunteer department, as is most of New Mexico, at least the northern part of the state. So I've been here for several years now as Fire and EMS Chief. Loved moving to New Mexico finally. One of the advantages and one of the hard things about being in a rural community like this and offering volunteer fire and EMS service is that pretty much every call we're on, our team knows the people, might even be related to them. So that answers your question about why we get up in the morning, because we're serving the people we know. We're trying to take care of our community. It's also one of the harder things for our volunteers, knowing that we're going to a heart attack call and it's someone we know. Well, some people call it a wacky community, some people call it an arty community, some people call it it's a very independent, resilient community. One of the things we often say up here, like the fire department, nobody throws anything away because you're going to need it someday. So the community really, for most of the community, it's very much the sense of independence, but the sense of interdependence with your neighbors. And I hope that doesn't get lost here. I mean, the community, all of our communities right now are growing rapidly. So it's part of why we love living here.
Thank you, Catherine, thank you. Before I offer my words of gratitude for this event and this honor, I would ask each of you tonight, however you find spirit in your life, to hold very close to your hearts the family and friends of Gus Beckwith, and certainly the other firefighters in Taos Fire Department. Every loss of a firefighter is felt by the entire global fire family. So thank you. So thank you to each of you. Thank you to wherever you went. Chris. Thank you, David, Taos Community Foundation, and the committee on this. And congratulations to all the other awardees tonight, so well deserved. So I want to accept this actually on behalf of every single volunteer firefighter and EMS provider in Taos County. Truly the unsung heroes, and in many communities, you might not even know exactly who they are and what their names are. I'm very proud of our department. One of our officers is here with me tonight. Those unsung heroes in your community, wherever you live in the county, respond 24/7, no matter time of day or night. They miss meals with their family. They miss those birthday parties. They miss Thanksgiving dinner occasionally. They get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to fight a house fire, a wildland fire, go to a neighbor's heart attack or OD, or even a suicide. And beyond the responders, the other group of unsung heroes that doesn't often get talked about is the family at home. Because when the pager goes off at 2 o'clock in the morning, my wife wakes up too. And I'm groggy trying to remember what I'm supposed to do, and she'll be at the door going, "You probably want socks." So we never want to forget that we couldn't do this without our family's support. So tonight I'd ask each of you to think about how to thank your local firefighters. And there's 3 ways that I can think of tonight. One would be volunteer. There's a job for everybody here. We'll put you to work. And we'll provide the training you need. We'll provide all the gear. All you need to bring is your heart. Second way you can thank all of our volunteers is make sure your house is safe. Do your defensible space. Do all that. I'm doing a PSA too. Thank you. Make sure when you get in the car, you're going to be absolutely safe. And the third way you can thank your volunteers is, I'm hoping that everybody in this room knows what fire district you live in, please. So when you call 911, you know what to tell them. And I hope you know where your closest fire station is. And I hope you know the names and faces of your volunteers. And the next time maybe you drive by the fire station and they're engaged in a drill or training or a meeting, maybe you just stop by. And I'll have to be honest and say, nothing says thank you to a firefighter better than food. So stop by your department with a plate of brownies and just say thank you. Thank you very much.
Can I just say what a great honor it's been to be here tonight and learn about all of these people who are doing so much every single day for all of us. And now to introduce the Citizen of the Year, Michael Taschi, Special Sections Editor of the Taos News.
Thank you so much. I would like to start by thanking our sponsors, Lore Foundation, the Taos Community Foundation, UNM Taos. This event would not be possible without their generous support. I'd also like to thank our presenter, Catherine Horsey, Taos News publisher, Chris Baker, and editor-in-chief, John Miller. For 23 years, the Taos News has proudly presented the stories of our community's unsung heroes, ordinary people doing extraordinary things that make a difference in the lives of others. It is a sad reality, but many of our members of our community have experienced some form of violence or know someone who has, which is why the work that Community Against Violence does every day is so important. That work includes providing shelter and counseling to victims and their families, often including children. CAV's Children Advocacy Program helps parents understand the effects of abuse on children so that patterns of intergenerational harm can be stopped. It offers legal services, language translation, training for health professionals, and the CAV thrift store. Taken as a whole, Community Against Violence offers crucial support and gives hope to the victims of domestic and other forms of violence. CAV's executive director, Malinda Williams, has been leading those efforts for the last 30 years with grace and aplomb, including the challenge of operating throughout the pandemic. The work of her and her staff have made a real difference in the lives of Taoseños, and it's why the committee has chosen her to be the 2023 Citizen of the Year.
Malinda Williams, and I'm currently the co-executive director of Community Against Violence. It's an organization that started here in the community in 1978 by two different groups of volunteers who got together over some really horrendous domestic violence murders who had happened in Taos and some sexual assaults of children and adults. And those two groups formed nonprofits, and the community groups came together to help the community get safe. Those two groups merged to become Community Against Violence. And so for 45 years, the organization has been grassroots begun and community-based nonprofit that serves survivors who are adults and children who are survivors of sexual assault, domestic violence, child abuse, elder abuse, human trafficking, and stalking. I started as a volunteer. I was working for a business here in Taos, and I wanted to find a way to get involved in my community. I had only lived here maybe 4 years, and I started volunteering at CAV, and it became everything to me. I just really loved the work that they were doing, and at that time there were only 5 staff, and I wanted to volunteer all my time. So outside of work, I was constantly wanting to just volunteer at CAV. So when a job became open, I applied for it, and I started working there in 1994, almost 30 years ago. I grew up in a home where there was domestic violence, and I and my siblings also experienced child abuse. I didn't know what those words were, so when I was looking for a place to give back to the community, I didn't realize that it was going to be that personal to me. And I was telling somebody that I went to a volunteer training, and the information that they shared just had a huge impact on me. And I just burst into tears, I was so embarrassed, burst into tears, and I couldn't believe that I had grown up in what was called domestic violence, because we didn't have words for that when we were growing up. Those things that happen to you as a child and that you witness as a child, you take them into your own body and your own mind, and you repeat those patterns often if you don't find other ways to learn to love. And so when I realized that that was what caused the damage in my family, and that it didn't have to be that way, that kids could have a different life path forward, and that people don't have to be abusive, and that people don't have to be abused, that there are options. I just wanted to make sure that there are other options out there, and that other people didn't wait until they were 30 years old to learn that they didn't have to live that way. I learned that I needed to find out who I was and to be clear in what I would accept and not accept, and be clear in what I'd like to have happen. So, believe it or not, when I was a kid, I was painfully shy. I could barely say anything, and it was really hard to speak up for ourselves. And especially in a family, when you're afraid of a parent, you don't speak up very much. That sets us up for life of not speaking up. So in this work, I have to say that I grew up with some of my coworkers. It's like, yes, I was an adult when I came to it, but I also grew up. I grew up to be able to say, like, this is okay, this is not okay. This is what I want, this is my hope, this is my dream, and it's okay to go after it. So I got really strong, and I'm grateful to the community, and I'm grateful to CAV for that too. Wow, I was so surprised, so surprised. Thank you, sweetie. I kind of just thought we got to the end and I was forgotten, and that was okay with me, because I found that during the pandemic I'm starting to feel shy again, and it's not comfortable being out in front of everybody anymore. But I was willing to do it for CAV because it is something I'm so passionate about, is that once your eyes are opened to what damages are caused by domestic and sexual violence, you can't unsee it. And so I tell people almost every year, is that when we're on the Radiothon, which is next Thursday, and CAV will be doing it without me, I'll be from afar calling in, but what we say about that day is that with your support, we bring hope. We're creating hope here. And so it's not the horrible stories that I thought it was back when I was growing up. It is that we have so many people, like even in this audience, your friends and families and your coworkers, there are so many silent thrivers, and CAV is creating hope to create those silent thrivers, right? Because domestic and sexual violence and child abuse are 100% preventable. And sometimes we forget that. And so some of the programs that CAV is doing is prevention, and it's also recovery and support so that people become thriving and they don't have to repeat those intergenerational cycles that happened in my family, which I know many of that was true for you too. Like many people who spoke, I just feel like I'm in that you all are incredible, and this is the most fun thing to do, is hear the thread of community involvement that happens with all of you all, and you well deserved. And I just feel so honored to be here and to stand with you. And I know I'm still shocked. One of the things that this award means is it's uncomfortable to be Malinda Williams, but get her an award for being Malinda Williams. It's for CAV and all the work we've been doing for these 45 years since it was created by some people who are in this room, who are the original volunteers who helped create this and took people into their homes. And doing this work is hard. It's hard to stand and witness the devastation that families face when they're coming in, but you all make that possible because with your support, we're able to bear witness to what they're experiencing and help support them to what we know they can be, what light can come back into their lives and that can shine again, and that they become who they are possible of being and who they could have been all along their life if they hadn't had that happen to them, right? So, I recently heard a quote, and I'm not sure who said it, and I'm not even sure I'm going to say it right, but it meant something to me, and I think it might to you as well, is that there's almost always something that can be done, and it's important that each of us do something. And so, with your support, I know that CAV is going to continue to go forward past my retirement at the end of this year, and I'm going to take all of the survivor stories with me, And I'm hoping that you will too, because you'll be hearing some of them on air next Thursday. K-Tau, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And taoscav.org has great information on it. But don't be afraid to ask someone if they're okay. And make sure you give them CAV's phone number 24 hours a day, texting hotline, calling hotline. It's always there. And do what you can. Thank you very, very much. I forgot to tell my family thank you. Sorry. My spouse, Kim, and my daughter, Michaela, and all my family. Thank you.
Let's give it up for Malinda one more time. Woo. We want to thank everyone for coming tonight. I want to thank Catherine. You did a wonderful job. Thank you so much. And once again, our sponsors, Laurel Foundation, UNM Taos, the Taos Community Foundation. I want to thank all the employees of the Taos News. We started this section with the focus group back in May. And the 4 sections plus the Citizen of the Year, it took actually that much time to put everything together. So be sure to support your street vendors tomorrow. Buy a paper. We appreciate it. I want to thank the guys from Razor Sharp. You guys did a wonderful job. Everyone in line every year. I want to Michael Tashi. He's a special section editor. He's the one that puts this all together. I want to thank Chris Wood, our ad director, Shane, John Miller, our photographer, Liam. I'll forget someone. Mary, our office manager. I could go on, and I shouldn't start down this road because I'll never get off it, but thank you guys for everything. I want to say Christina Martinez for putting together this beautiful spread tonight. I called her this morning and said, I think we're going to have more people than I thought. Can you up it by 25 people or 50 people? And she said, sure, Chris, no problem. So she always, El Monte, thank you so much for this. You did a wonderful job. And Enrico Trujillo does these wonderful videos for us. We forget him sometimes. He does a beautiful job. And thank you, Enrico. So we'll be here next year, number 24. I appreciate it. Thanks to guys for the broadcasting on the radio tonight. So thank you for that too. We have 3 mics up here, so I wasn't sure what direction we're going. So thank you, everyone. Drive safe. We appreciate it. Good night.